So we started just a bit early, so you get a little Sub-Zero update. So he just turned 7 months old, right? So he's a big boy, right? For 7 months. Say hello, Sub-Zero. When we first got him, he was what, 6 weeks and what, like a little nugget?
Big boy.
He's a big boy. All right, Sub-Zero, say adios.
Don't mess with anybody, guys. I'll come after you. No, just saying. He's a cute dog. He's a beautiful dog, a nice dog. He's still a puppy.
Yeah, he's a good
But
boy.
his head is getting bigger.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's 56 pounds and he just turned 7 months. So
Yeah.
big boy for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my God. Oh. That was me. Let's go. All right, you ready to lock in?
Yeah.
I'm really excited about today's show, by the way, as always, but this one very much so. So let's lock in.
I have to use my glasses today for that.
Let's lock in. What's up, Titus? Okay, so let's lock in and get this going. So hello, everyone, and welcome to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is Monday, June the 20th, 2022. And if you've been following our channel since Wimbledon of 2019, I think, or 2018, you know that this is my favorite major. So I think there's a couple reasons, and we'll talk about them. We've talked about them before, why there might be some asterisks next to this Wimbledon, but nonetheless, it's my favorite major. Carla, where in the major favorite list does Wimbledon fall? What being your most favorite, and maybe just run them down the list?
Sure. I'm from New York, born in Queens, New York, where Flushing Meadows is, not too far away from there. I think like the next train stop, that's where I was born. I'm definitely a U.S. Open person, all the way, USA. To me, it's the toughest Grand Slam. I tell you guys over and over every year that I feel like an underdog can win this slam, and that's why it's my favorite, because I like to see an underdog really fight. They really fight here for this slam. That's my first one. My second one, just because of Nadal, is the French Open. Had Nadal not been in the picture, perhaps Wimbledon would be number 2. Number 3 is Wimbledon. I just think there's too much hypocritical traditions.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to change certain things, then why the hell do we still have to wear white? Just saying. And the last one is the Australian Open.
Okay, so
but they're pretty close, actually. The only reason I put Australia last, the Australian Open, and I'm not the biggest Djokovic fan at all, it's just because of what happened. I thought that they could have been handled a little bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, number 1 for me, U.S. Open all the way. It's colorful. The crowd is loud. It's what you expected in New York.
Good list.
Instead of everybody being so hush and proper, I feel like I'm at a country club when I see Wimbledon. And I don't like that feeling.
Well, we teach at a country
club.
No,
a stuck-up country club.
Oh.
Where you have to have money and act a certain way, and I don't like. I prefer to be able to speak my mind, be loud, be myself, not have to be so
That's
proper.
Right.
So yeah.
That's a good list. The top 2 for me, Wimbledon being 1 and the French Open being 2. And the French Open used to be my least favorite, but because of a lot of the things that they've stood up for in the recent past, they have jumped to number 2. All right, before we get into the first topic, a couple of shout outs. My shout out goes to everyone in the entire global community in which we live. A shout out to everyone, because the world is a tough place to be in currently. It's always been tough. Life is not easy. Hence why we always say be kind, because everyone you meet is fighting a tough battle. Life is tough. Gas prices are high. Rents, payments, interest rates are climbing, and we're all part of that. So shout out to everyone, and don't forget, be kind, because everyone you meet is fighting a tough battle. And Carla, I think you had a shout out as well.
Yep. My son Christopher is leaving to the Air Force Academy on Wednesday. His uncle Blainer and his wife Jenny and his daughter Natalie, son Lucas, and Matthew came to visit us to Dauphin Island. It was not a planned trip. I mean, he decided to come and stayed 3 days in Dauphin Island, and we had a blast with him. You got to meet him for the first time.
It's a great time.
I hadn't seen them in, I think, 11 years or more.
Yeah.
We really had a great time with the kids, margaritas and all that. And I'm sure they're still driving home. Be safe, guys. Thank you for coming. Hope to see you guys soon. Like I mentioned, it's tough for Justin and I before to go anywhere, especially with our busy schedule.
Well, because we have 5 kids.
Yeah, we have 5 kids in our works, but I hope to see them again, not in another 10 years.
Yeah, when we go on a trip, you can't just like think for 2. You have to think for like 6 or 7. So it adds up at that point in time. Anyway, for all of you that play the fantasy team competitions and the $600 cash giveaway, we downloaded a separate video that's already dropped, that we've already put out. So check that out if you have any desire to play. All right. Topic number 1. And this has to do with, how many years have we talked about how cheesy things like the next gen is, in terms of the ATP, when the big 3 were dominating and blah, 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 blah. And then we have Raducanu, Emma, who is that? I forgot who she was at this point in time. But we do have kind of a story that I thought jumped higher up on my list. By the way, we have a lot of material. So if we don't spend enough time on one of them, put in comments, say, let's go back to that. Or maybe if one's taking too long, let us know, because I've got a lot of material. But the topic number 1 is a young girl that's 14 years old. 14 years old. She's British. I think she has Asian descent. So the young girl's name, Yumihi Zhu, XU. 14 years old, that is in the qualies of Wimbledon. So she plays a 24-year-old American girl tomorrow by the name of Hannah Chang. And that match starts at 7:30 a.m. Central Time. And so I will definitely watch that. But the 14-year-old will play her first quali match tomorrow morning at 7:30 Central Time. And she has to win, as we all know, if you follow majors and the qualies and how they work, she needs to win 3 matches in a row. I think it's going to be very difficult for her, given that she's 14. But
I agree.
But what does this tell you?
What's her name?
Her name is Migghe space XU, Zhu.
Okay, so she plays tomorrow.
Yeah, I looked it up. If you scroll down, she's toward about the 7:30 start times.
Okay.
She plays a girl named Hannah Chang. So I wish this young lady luck. By the way, statistically, if this girl makes the main draw, she would be the youngest person in over 100 years of recorded history in Wimbledon to have made the main draw.
Yeah, good for her.
Okay.
That'll be good. I'm tired of Raducanu. I see Jack Sock won his first round for qualifiers.
Qualies.
Good for him. Albot won his first round for qualies.
Gene Swartz says Linda Fruhitova has been doing well, and I think she is 16 years old. So,
yeah,
so
that's
thanks for that.
great. Because back in the 90s, I remember when I was learning the game, a couple years into the game. It was not rare to see a 14-year-old play at a Grand Slam. Very common. As a matter of fact, if you were in your 20s trying to become a pro, they would tell you it's way too late for you. Whereas now, you can go to college and graduate and turn pro, and they recommend that. But back in the 90s, if you were in your 20s, you were too late. So it was very common to see a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old trying to get into the pros or playing. And I think all of that changed when Jennifer Capriati was busted for shoplifting and I think smoking pot or something like that.
Yeah.
All of that changed. They felt like it was way too much pressure for a teenager to handle. So they were only now allowed to play a certain amount of tournaments a year. Yeah,
exactly. And Zest for Life mentions in comments, I thought there was an age limit to play on the main tour. You can expand that thought. And again, I'm not saying I know the complete answer to that, but part of it, I know that there is an amount of tournaments that a player can play before they get to be, I think, the age of 17. Coco Gauff is a prime example of that.
She was only allowed to play. She could play every Grand Slam and only a couple of tournaments. Like there was a limit, and I think it's still that way. I think they added a little bit more, but it's still that way. And I kind of agree with that because I think for a 14-year-old, my daughter's 13. They're still a baby. They have no idea what they want to do in the world. They are immature. They are clueless. They're not even confident of themselves. They haven't even matured into their body. For someone to feel that pressure and play against older people and the grinding tour and the mental, it takes you to be a strong mental person to get through that play and play again and play again and play again. I think that they are right, for putting a limit for teenagers. They should do the same thing. I think they do the same thing for the guys.
Yes.
It's rare to see a 14-year-old boy playing on the tour.
Yes, and Cicimo out there, hello as well. But yes, the age thing is sometimes a really hard thing to dissect, because you're so young. When you're young, you don't deal with highs and lows very well. You're still kind of looking for mom or dad or
yeah,
coach.
You don't know yourself yet. You don't know now your identity. I guess your identity.
Yourself, how you deal with things.
I mean, going through hormones, right? The hormone changes and stuff. You're developing into an adult,
a young lady,
adult.
Yeah, exactly. Different things biologically happen at this age with young ladies. Look, we have 5 children, 2 of them daughters, and I know that the daughters around this age are very volatile. They're very up and down, and they go this way and they go that way, and we try to keep that even Steven. So I think the rule is great that is in place where X amount of tournaments can be played before X amount of age, and that I would have to find out exactly. But I think at 16, and Coco Gauff just had to weather that storm. But I think it's a good storm to weather, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
But good luck to this young lady, Mimi Xu. That gives it a really good storyline for the qualies, and it's very rare that we flip the qualies on, which are going on now, by the way. I think Pastasio played today. But the qualies are going on now, and this gives the qualies a good storyline. So I thought bravo to Wimbledon for that. Second topic, and if we want to go back to that, let us know. So second topic is this. Changing your nationality to play Wimbledon. What am I talking about? A doubles player, and her name is, excuse the pronunciation, I have never heard of this young lady, but a doubles specialist / player, as I read, quote, Natala Zalamidze, changes nationality from Russian to Georgian, and she is now allowed to play Wimbledon. So she is Russian-born, Natala Zatamidze, and I'm sure I'll get drilled for the pronunciation, is officially listed as Georgian. I had one thought when I read this, that I think Daniil Medvedev should become Ugandan, and I think that Aryna Sabalenka and Victoria Azarenka should become Antarctican. Don't you think that would be a pretty good idea?
Sure.
I'm not hating on the athlete for doing that. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I hope she plays and wins. I'm just saying, I'm not hating on that. I'm not being a hater at all. I'm just saying, okay, why can't Medvedev do that? Why can't Azarenka do that? Why can't you get what I'm saying?
They can. I felt good for her. I'm sure in doubles you're not making a lot of money, not even if you're winning Grand Slams. You're still not making the same amount of money. You're not going to get the same type of endorsement as a singles player.
Yep.
I felt good for her for changing her nationality. Screw Russia anyways.
Yeah,
I mean, you're going to take that right away from me? Well, let me find a way. Are you telling me that we don't cheat the system? There are ways of cheating the system in everything, right? Politics do it. I mean, there's ways of doing it. Students do it. Why wouldn't you want athletes do it? So why? I didn't see this as bad. I mean, she wants to play.
I didn't say it was bad. I'm just saying it happened.
She needs the money. I'm sure
Well, this guy 1000 says she has Georgian heritage, but again, scratch all that. I'm just
looking at. So if I wanted to go play for Honduras, let's say because for some reason the United States, there's something going on, they ban Americans, and I can say, hey, my parents are Honduran, so let me go play for Honduras. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Does that mean you can never go back in which you came from?
She's not a sellout. Trouble Mind Wimbledon is a sellout.
But yeah, well, okay. I get where Trouble Mind's coming from, though. I do see that if she would be a sellout if she was not allowed to go back to the flag that she had flown. In other words, if she is flying a Georgian flag for the tournament, the next tournament that didn't ban Russia or didn't ban Belarus, can she fly her flag then? Or did she take the flag and then forgot the other one and you can't come back from that? So I guess my question to Trouble Mind is, I think I would agree with you that she would be a sellout if from this point forward in her career, she always had to fly the Georgia flag.
So what? So represent Georgia. I mean, there's not many players from Georgia. Who's the only player from Georgia? Bashvili?
I think so. I can come up with.
I'm just saying.
That was a good knowledge.
I mean, Jose P says Wimby forced her hand. Exactly. Here's Wimbledon. Before they would bow down to the queen that does nothing. Just saying. Wear the stupid white when you're on freaking grass, and it's gonna get all nasty if you slide on the grass. Okay? I mean, you gotta go with this stupid tradition wearing all white. First of all, that is boring. You change the tiebreaker. You change the fifth set to a tiebreaker. Now you ban Belarusians and Russians. Okay, I understand. But I mean, if people are getting around your rules, then maybe you should take it down.
Yeah, and I think.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I think Trouble.
But you don't have a problem with COVID, whereas U.S. Open does. So which one is it? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think I would have understand the COVID thing more than the Russian and Belarusian thing.
Agreed.
Just saying.
I agree with you. Okay, I looked the definition of or from the ITF. I looked up their definition of player nationality, or how does this work? Like you just mentioned, I'll just go play for Honduras. Like how do we figure out and what does it mean? So this is.
I should have asked Glainer, because Glainer, if he's listening, he was born in the U.S., I think, but from what I remember, I think you have dual passports, Dominican Republic or something like that.
B-Dog just said the same thing.
Yeah.
B-Dog, what's up, Bobby, man? Much love, man. I hope your son's well. He says, did she claim dual citizenship? You can do either one. And he's questioning. He's not saying. And that's my thing. If she would be a sellout, as Drip Tennis said, if yes, indeed, she took the flag, but you can never go back to it. But if she didn't do that and she can flip-flop, then she was just a lucky girl.
She was a lucky girl.
She was a lucky girl. Did she sell out her country or not? And I think that's the story here. I think Bobby out there, my man, my Patriots fan, I think he's like questioning, the same thing. And then I think Drip Tennis is like, if she did that, then, F off.
Okay, but I mostly everybody's saying she had dual citizenship.
Okay.
If you had dual citizenship, I think Osaka had dual, right? But they made her pick.
But they made her pick the flag.
They made her pick because the Japanese are very proud of their culture, and I don't blame them. That is within their right. And anyways, let's be real here. Her doing that, saying she's Japanese, and being black at the same time, helps her with endorsement.
Agreed.
Because it makes her different.
Agreed. I totally agree. So here is the definition of player nationality in terms of how it pertains to signing up for a tournament, and that being an ITF event, a major, right? They have other events. But okay, player nationality is defined as, quote, the flag they fly under their name at professional events. Pretty vague, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of stupid that we make such a big deal out of what little flag is under your digital name on the television. Look, we have Russians and Belarusians that cannot play at Wimbledon because of the little thing that's below their name, meaning their flag, right? I mean that respectively. But I mean, look, I think Medvedev, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he lives in Monaco or Monte Carlo or something like that.
Probably.
So, I mean, if he's been there long enough, I don't know how the laws work, but I'm guessing he could apply for dual citizenship and then flip-flop flags based upon if we're banned from playing in a certain tournament or not. It just seems to me to be kind of stupid, kind of petty. Anyway, we brought up Naomi Osaka.
So what we need for to happen this year is for a guy that has Russian descent but was not born there to win the Grand Slam. So then he can say, I represent Russia, blah, 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 to my, I don't know. I mean, it would be a slap in their face. I don't know. I just think I understand where people are coming from, those that are dealing with the war, I get it. That the reason they don't want the Russians to play, but at the same time, this is a sport. I mean, really, did you guys really expect Azarenka, Sabalenka, Medvedev to win? They should have just let them play.
I agree with you. I agree with you totally.
Yeah.
It's just to make such a big mountain out of a molehill, and then this one girl, again, respectively, I hope she does well. I'm not hating on the girl. She flipped her flag with ease, but yet our number one player in the world right now, Medvedev, and whether he should be number one in the world or not depends on an objective discussion, and we'll get into that in a moment. But he can't play, and neither can a former major champion Azarenka. And anyway, they can't play because they don't have the ability to flip-flop their flag. It's like, okay, I don't get it. Pick or choose, I guess, is how it rolls. All right, let's jump into the next thing, and we can get back to that if you wish. But Carla just brought up Naomi Osaka. Okay, Naomi Osaka, by the way, is not playing Wimbledon.
Big surprise.
Okay, well, we talked about that already. So she's not playing Wimbledon, but Naomi Osaka owns a sports agency called Evolve, 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 right?
Yeah.
Naomi Osaka landed her first client. Okay, so her first client is who?
Nick Kyrgios.
Nick Kyrgios.
Yeah.
So where are we going with this company? Like usually your first sign is an indication of where you're going or what your business model is, what your business plan is. When we came up with 5K tennis, it used to be Love All Tennis. And then we realized back in Montgomery 10 years ago that Love All Tennis was already a pro shop somewhere. And then we were like, dude, we got 5 kids, so 5K tennis, right? So that's how it came to be. So everything that we have built over 12 years, whether it's racket string or whatever, it's always been 5K, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything for Naomi Osaka is evolved. Her first client, her cornerstone, her foundation of her company is Nick Kyrgios. If you're a client that's looking to jump on board, what are your thoughts about this major client? Why did
She was smart.
Okay, why? I agree. Why?
Very smart. Well, you got someone that loves being, this hawk.
Yep, sells tickets.
Sells tickets. Well, how do you get your company start? With somebody that loves that. They love any type of exposure, negative, positive.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She was smart. She played her cards right by putting
Yeah.
Kyrgios. I don't like Kyrgios, but now we're talking about her company, and
Yeah.
so will other people's, and now we will
Exactly.
see evolve, thanks to Kyrgios.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she will draw in all the young players that are coming up that listen to this and act like that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm one of those people. When I go out, I'll be rapping freestyle at the karaoke thing instead of reading the words, right? So Nick Kyrgios, as much as I dislike his court conduct and dislike his tirades and breaking rackets and gestures with water bottles. He's good for the game. I hate to say it. He's good for the game in a negative way. Have you ever heard the statement that there is no such thing as negative publicity?
Yeah.
Right. I get it's negative publicity. However, there is no such thing as negative publicity because if you're getting it publicized, it's quality in terms of clicks and views, right? And he gets a lot of them. And with Wimbledon coming up, that Naomi Osaka did the right choice here. And furthermore, do you, Carla, and do all of you, do you all think that Nick Kyrgios will do really well at Wimbledon this year?
He could. He's capable of it. Obviously, his results are pretty good.
Yeah.
William Spencer says, yes, it does pose an interesting question. Should the U.S., Britain, etc., be banned from countries for all the wars we've been involved in the past 20 years?
Yes, exactly.
We're not exactly snowy white.
Yes, and William Spencer, by the way, just won our fantasy team competition for Roland Garros. So he's a major champion, and he's going to have another shot here soon. Speaking of that, we're on the same brainwave, William. I wrote a segment here. We'll go ahead and get to it now.
And let me say another thing.
Yeah.
Chichimo says, people, when Muslims show flags during the matches and show support against the war, don't enter politics into sport. When it's war in Ukraine.
Yes, agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you totally. So I came across this. I was writing notes this morning. I got up, and we get up at like 5:30, and we knew we were doing a show today. And I had all these notes written over the past couple of days. And then I realized there was a kind of an interesting story here. That story is Wimbledon bans Russians and Belarusians this year to play because of the war in Ukraine, or the Russians' invasion of Ukraine. Okay. However, one of Wimbledon's main sponsors is HSBC. Now, I did not get the acronym of HSBC. So that is Hotel Sierra Bravo Charlie. Okay. HSBC. HSBC is one of the main sponsors of Wimbledon. However, I looked this up. HSBC is complicit, quote unquote, in multiple human rights abuses in Hong Kong. Now, who am I? Politics, I don't like it, whatever, could care less. But how is it that Wimbledon can ban Russians and Belarusians? How is this so? If one of their main sponsors, HSBC, is complicit in human rights, right? So I guess you could say that the criminal war going on there is synonymous with the human rights violation at the highest degree, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so why do we have? So British lawmakers were privy of this. I didn't just manifest this thought on my own.
Dog said human rights involves money. This guy said it's all hypocrisy.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly right. And so I read that, and I'm like, geez,
like China.
We're not gonna let Medvedev play. We're not gonna let Azarenka. We're not gonna let Sabalenka, and on and on and on. But we're gonna let HSBC, who is, from what I understand, a very complicit in human rights issues and has been for a long time.
Stefan says, maybe put some Rafa pictures as well. Carla, how is it possible that Rafa is not already?
You gotta send this one. You gotta send it.
He's a Novak fan. You Rafa fans are very weak. Let me tell you that. You guys, Rafa. But now one of you sends me a picture. So I can't put the picture
Yeah.
up. I'm not gonna buy it myself. You
We
need to send me a Rafa
Yeah, we
picture.
didn't buy those. That's Florence Chan.
I mean, how is it that you guys are gonna praise Rafael Nadal, but you can't send me a small picture at least?
Right?
Just saying.
You know, right? Ethan DA with the Federer hat. My dad with this. And Florence Chan with that.
I'm just saying.
Let's go.
Like, you don't even have to spend a lot of money. Shoot. Go get a magazine, tennis magazine, cut out a picture of Rafa and send it to me, and I'll put it up there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This was
I shouldn't have to do that.
Exactly.
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 I mean, like, seriously. Like, we are all, yay, Rafa. I mean, Wayne and Chia, where you at? You're like the biggest Rafa fan, and you don't send anything.
Wayne and Chia, by the way, is in Singapore, right? Let's go.
Okay. Yeah, definitely not. Let's block this idiot.
Yeah, don't worry about all that stuff. Oh yeah, be careful. Yeah. No, that's the wrong thing. Yeah. Well, people sometimes will spam in comments, but we'll delete it immediately. And then Gene Swart or Thomas Chi, you can just block them indefinitely because Gene Swart and Thomas Chi are moderators. Let's go, Gene Swart. Hold down the fort. It's all good. We handled it. Okay. Where did I leave off? I forgot.
SD Tennis said, I have a Nadal poster in the mail. When I get it, it's yours.
Let's go.
Sign it, Robert. Sign it. We'll put it up. Yeah, we'll definitely put it up.
Yeah, and then we can, figure out a place to put it, and it'll be on the wall. Okay.
Trouble Mind says, Badal is finally putting the hammer down. He's having a baby. Good for him. I'm sure it'll be a very beautiful baby, and I'm sure that baby, girl or boy, will not be a tennis player.
Yeah, I'm sure they will not.
Yeah, there's no need.
Yeah, and why is that, Carla? It's when you have.
I always say when you have a parent that, let's say LeBron or let's say Michael Jordan, they'll never be as good as their parents.
Yeah, because the parents have been through it, and then when they see their kids going through it, they're like, "Oh, I don't want my kids to go through that much hell."
Well, they're supposed to say the difference is Rafa stuff isn't something you give away on like Novak merchandise.
That's funny. That's funny.
Oh man,
that's funny. I like that one.
Shishimo says Malik Jasiri once had to face an Israeli player and he refused to play. A whole investigation was done, and I think he was punished.
I've heard of this.
Now let's thank you, Gene. Thank you, Gene, for getting on it. You're very good,
Gene. I knew he would be Johnny on the spot. I already knew. Okay, let's shift gears just for a moment to Andy Murray. Okay. For multiple years, long before we did the show, Carla and I always had an agreement of the issue that we had with Andy Murray. It's not that we don't like the guy, it's just that we don't like his whiny attitude, right? We never really cared for his court demeanor, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
right?
You do that really well too when he's doing his interviews and stuff.
I forgot even how to imitate. I used to imitate him, but I can't. I think it's something like this. I don't know. Okay. He comes up to the thing. He's like, man, I just had a really tough match, and I really tried to play the best. I can't do it anymore.
You're like this. Oh.
Yeah. So we never really
gold iron hip.
Yeah, we couldn't gel with his energy very well, right?
B. Harris is like, what's up with all the trolls? You guys must have made it big. I don't know. I mean, you didn't even want to block a lot of people. But
B. Harris, back in the day, Bobby, back in the day when we first started the show, Carla would get messages, and I kid you not, I'll recite one that I remembered. This came from a Djokovic fan, obviously, because she was talking about
There wasn't just one, it was many.
It was many. Carla got multiple comments that alluded to, you should bury, speaking to her, you should bury your head, you should bury your body up to your head in sand, and then when your head's sticking out, we can pelt you with rocks.
And then we got another one. You got it?
It's like, what? Let's go. They're creating.
You guys keep creating. I love it. You keep getting blocked.
Yeah. Yeah. So James Wong is trying to type in the comments, and Gene Swartz deleting them before it even happens. That's funny. Let's go. Come on.
That's funny.
Okay, Andy Murray is now.
You're too fast.
Yeah.
You don't even let the poor guy spell it.
Yeah, you got it out. Let's go, Gene Swartz. Andy Murray is now in the top 40, so he is within the top 50. Okay. Does anyone have any confidence?
I didn't know that.
Does anyone have any confidence in Andy Murray for this Wimbledon? Meaning, and I think
he loves grass.
Yeah.
He feeds off the crowd.
Home field advantage.
He did it. Isn't his wife? Is his wife British?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, he's an adopted son, right? He's from Scotland. He's Scotland, but he's not hot like most Scotland guys. Just saying.
Who's a hot Scotland guy?
Oh my God,
I don't know. Oh, that's one.
There's many.
She just said, oh, like he's not hot like all the
But you
Scotland
got-
guys. You just name one. Give me
All you
one
gotta
more.
do
Give me
is
one
like
more.
close your eyes and listen to the accent. You're like, wow, that's hot.
Give me one more.
The guy that he works in Marvel Comics. He's got the light eyes. He worked with Angelina Jolie in a movie. He was a bad guy. He was shooting. I forgot his name too.
Okay.
Lendo is back coaching Andy. He's going to behave now.
Let's go. I like to hear this. Good knowledge drop. Good knowledge drop.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's good for him. As you all know, the last coaching stint that Lendo had, he was kicked off the court by Sasha the puppy hating.
I think he'll make it to the second week, Jesus. You don't have we know that okay, we know that Zverev is not playing. Loki? No, Loki's not hot. We know that Zverev is not playing, right? That's one. Who else is not playing? Federer didn't really count. So we got Djokovic we know Medvedev is not playing. Okay. What's his name? The one that looks like a cat. Rublev is not playing. Okay. I mean, these are players that can probably beat Andy Murray. I think he can definitely make it to the second week. No one's talking about Alcaraz, by the way. Everybody was talking about Alcaraz for the French Open. No one's talking about him for Wimbledon. So I don't think he's going to really be much of a threat. We have players like Isner, Opelka. Those guys, I mean, they can lose in the first round. I don't think they're really a big threat. I'm trying to think of players who really could beat Andy Murray.
Yeah.
Tsitsipas lost to Nick Kyrgios. I mean,
and great. Sorry, my fault to get up, but she makes a really good point here. We always talk about on our everyone's channel here. Again, we do this all together. Without your input, we have nothing. So we always talk about players that win something. They win a tournament, they win a 250, they win a 500, a Premier, or whatever. And then everyone gets on. I mean, we're our YouTube family. We stay very active in it.
I thought Lloyd Harris just had a surgery.
But what I'm understanding, what I'm saying is,
Harris.
So many people right after that proclaim, okay, here comes the next big thing. Here comes the next big thing, and then where do they go? So Raducanu was a really recent one of those type things, right? Mm-hmm. But this is one of those things that it's like we've always said, right? It's just.
I don't know. B. Harris says if Djokovic doesn't win this Wimby, it would be the greatest choke job in tennis history. I really think that Djokovic's problem is the fact that his old coach is not with him. I feel like Goran Ivanisevic just doesn't have the coach experience that his old coach had. His old coach was a coach, probably not a high ranked player.
Yeah.
So sometimes those are the better coaches. Just saying, he won many of his slams with him. I just don't get why he wouldn't continue his career with him, knowing that Novak is going for trying to be the best ever.
There's sure some still involvement there, and I've heard some even allude to he's already back with him, but I can't prove that. But we've heard multiple people contact us privately that have said that Biden is still very much involved.
I don't think so. I just feel like I think Ryan came to the house yesterday and asked us what did you think of Novak when he played this year at French Open? I felt like I was watching a totally different guy.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was watching Novak, and that's very surprising. Here he is, no Australian, no French, lost the U.S. Open. Very tough.
Yeah, and we'll squash the topic on Alcaraz that she brought up. That's what I overheard. But Alcaraz didn't do well in the last tournament, and already no one's talking about him. It's what I'm saying is no one really remembers second place. Can you tell me who won? Who came in second last year at Wimbledon? I don't know who won it, but who came in second?
I know Novak won.
Okay.
Did he beat Medvedev? He beat Medvedev.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who came in second place for the last U.S. Open?
Didn't Nadal beat? No, Medvedev beat Djokovic.
Okay. So we'll go through all four. Who came in second place just this year? Just this year in the final against Nadal. Who did Nadal beat in the final of the Australian Open just a couple months ago?
He beat Casper, the ghost, I guess.
That was the French Open.
Oh, who? What, Australia?
Australian Open. Who did Nadal beat in the final of the French Open this year?
Medvedev? Okay, I forgot.
Okay. Who did Nadal beat in the final of the French Open we just watched?
I told you, Casper.
And you had to think about that one.
Yeah, so let me go back to one of these comments that I thought was funny. Someone mentioned if Andy Murray. Okay, Jose P says, imagine Andy becoming a tennis commentator for British Network. I would fall asleep. I really did. I tried watching his biography. I think it was on Netflix. I couldn't. It's just very tough for me to watch.
Speaking,
I just can't imagine having a conversation with him as his wife. You know, romantic conversation. I don't know. I don't even know how they have 4 kids. It would be like, oh, well, baby, well,
I just want to.
oh, I don't know. I don't know. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Eleanor says, Carla, what we men coaching women, men coaching men. Has there ever been a woman coaching a male tennis player? Yeah, you had Maresmo coach Andy Murray.
Yes, Maresmo, that was the first one I thought about. And Conchita Martinez coached a couple players. But yes, there's quite, the women are quite active respectively in coaching the men.
Yeah, I think that it can definitely be done.
Yeah.
B. Harris says the biography was terrible and boring. Yeah, I had to turn it off. Trouble Mind says, I think he's really slick with his wife, though.
Probably. I mean, that's the way it is.
Maybe he's better in bed than talking.
Oh, shit.
That's why they got 4 kids. So just saying.
Sounds good to me.
He expresses himself better in the intimate part.
Yes. Okay.
Could be.
Since we're talking about no room for second place, and Carla brought up Alcaraz while I stepped away. Does Carlos Alcaraz do well at this Wimbledon? Does he lose in the first couple of rounds? Does he make the second week? Put it in poll. Does Carlos Alcaraz, or just put Alcaraz to save typing, does Alcaraz make the second week of Wimbledon, meaning quarterfinals on or 4th round on? Does he make the second week?
All right. So
I don't necessarily think so. Again, I like the kid. I think it's great, but there's ebbs and flows in everything we do. And tennis, there's ebbs and flows. But there's the crest and there's the trough, and sometimes we go through that. And grass is a surface that we don't have a lot of time to make decisions. And because he's young and still very much under pressure, I don't think at his age he'll be able to mentally keep up with shot selection as he's retrieving balls. I don't think he's going to be able to retrieve and to go get and to then defend. I think he will be, it'll be much faster, and he won't have time to get to the ball and say, okay, do I slice it? Do I put it deep? Do I hit? Do I push the ball up? What do I do? It comes too quickly on the surface. So
I think he'll have a hard time.
He'll have a hard time this Wimbledon.
I think Andy does better than him.
Yeah, I would agree. And it could be possible that Andy Murray and Alcaraz might square off in the 2nd or 3rd round.
Eleanor Noor says American men's chances at Wimbledon.
I have a segment about
I think
this.
that's okay. We'll talk about it then.
We'll go to that.
Okay.
All right. So and we're on the same brainwave. Ella's been on our brainwave for the longest time. What's up, girl? Let's go. Okay. So Carla and I were discussing today. My door just opened. Let me shut that.
It's the ghost.
Okay, but here's where I'm going with this.
I'll close it.
I'll get it. Carla and I discussed today while we were driving, John Isner and Riley Opelka.
Oh my God, LeBeau.
Darren LeBeau, what's up?
I'll get the door while I read his comment. LeBeau says, I think he's capable of going far at Wimbledon, but regardless, this Wimbledon will be a great learning curve for his moving forwards. For whom? For Andy Murray or for Alcaraz? Ryan Mason says, question, how far did Rafa get in the 2005 Wimbledon immediately after his first French Open? Just wondering. Good question.
That's a great question.
Good question.
That's a great question. So we were talking today about the prospects.
Oh, Alcaraz. You think he'll go far? I don't think so. Okay.
Finally finished this
I'm
sentence.
so sorry. Go ahead.
So Carla and I were talking today about the players from the U.S. that had the best chance to do well in the tournament. Not talking about winning it, obviously, but the players that could do well. And both of us kind of brought up a list of players, Tiafoe and Querrey and Opelka and Isner and blah, 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 blah. And at the time, we were driving, so it wasn't like we were looking it up. We just were shooting from our heads. And both of us said names such as John Isner and Riley Opelka. Okay, the speed of the surface. The serve is a big asset on the surface. You can ask Serena Williams about that. Anyway, both of us said, I think that John Isner and Riley Opelka will do pretty well. I'm not saying second week, but win a couple of rounds. So we started looking that up, and we totally forgot that John Isner and Riley Opelka both lost in the first round last year. Okay, first of all, does that happen again? A. Don't forget about Madison Keys on the women's side, Sloane Stephens. And has anyone found out why Sophia Kenin is not back on the court?
She's still injured.
She's still recovering.
She's still recovering. It's just like Dominic Thiem. Dominic Thiem, I think, Brian, you and I were discussing that the wrist is very important in tennis. The fact that he hits a one-handed backhand, uses the same hand, right, to hit his strokes, is terrible for him. He will never come back. Never.
You don't think?
I said one and done a long time ago, and someone made me a bet, and I don't know if it's you, Michael Walker, but I'm going to find that video where I told you he will never win again. And if we do have a bet and he retires, I'm coming after you.
Man, Michael Walker just took $100 from me, man. I'll tell you what.
And Michael Walker and I, we have a bet with Raducanu who also.
Let's go. Let's go, bro. What was that bet?
Porta withdrew from Wimbledon. He said that she would win a Grand Slam, and I said in 5 years she would never win a Grand Slam.
I mean, after she won her maiden?
Yeah.
Okay.
No way. So
yeah, we got
Porta's out. Why did he withdraw? I didn't know he was out.
Didn't catch that one.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gilles Muller is a grass specialist.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Did he retire?
No, I think Gilles Muller was kind of like a journeyman. Gilles Muller's beat some of the best in the game at this tournament. Then Gilles Muller made what, like a quarterfinal, like in the past 5 years, maybe?
Yeah, like he's been very steady.
Yeah. All right. But back to Eleanor's question about how well does the Americans do in Wimbledon. I don't think there's a player in the draw, men's or women's, that will get past the quarterfinals. No disrespect. I think that Carla and I were both wrong when we were talking today. We were driving again, and we were like, I think Isner and Opelka will do well. But we totally forgot that they both lost in the first round last year. So do you think that last year was a fluke and that they will come back and do well? And question B, do you think someone like Opelka, or on the female side, Keys or Sloane Stephens or Sam Querrey, do you think they will do better than these two? I
think the women will do better than the guys. I think Opelka, he just has not been winning. Isner, he likes the surface, so he'll do okay.
Yeah.
Depending who he gets. But I have a feeling that Sloane Stephens, Madison Keys, Risk.
Risk is another one, yes.
There's quite a few Americans. Maybe Collins can get her stuff together. Maybe not. Goff will do okay.
Yeah.
You got Serena. You got Venus there. I don't think Venus will do much. Serena, depending who she plays.
Yeah.
You've got the billionaire's daughter.
Pagula.
So I think the women will do way better than the guys.
Okay, so let me ask everyone a question. You don't have to type it, Carla. But I'm going to ask a poll question. And choice A, in comments, just put A. Choice B, in comments, put B. Okay? Let's put all the U.S. players, all the American players. Okay. Let's put all the American players on one sheet of paper in your mind, right? And on that tabula rasa, that blank slate, that psychological non-existent zero, let's put all the American players in a list. If you had to pull 2 players out of that list and say these 2 players will go farther in the tournament than any of the other players, we hypothesized that Isner and Opelka would be that. But after finding out that they both lost in the first round, which we knew, we covered it, we did shows on it, we forgot about it. Remember, no one remembers second place, right? Who are the 2 American players, male or female, that you think go the farthest in the tournament? Fritz, you think does better. So you guys think that Fritz Jose P, it's a good one. You think Taylor Fritz Jose P goes farther in the tournament than Isner and or Opelka and or Serena or Venus or any other American player out there?
He has a better chance than most of them. And golf, Fritz and golf. That is your female and
yes. Drip Tennis says, isn't Serena and Venus playing doubles in Wimby? Wait a minute, isn't Serena playing with someone else?
She's playing with Jabeur.
Jabeur.
No, but she's playing at Eastbourne or doubles, I thought.
Okay, wrong turn.
But Tiafoe could do well too, B. Harris. That would be another one, depending on who he got. But I think you would have to put Fritz up there, and that's not saying much about American tennis. I mean, I still believe in Serena. I want to believe in Serena. And I think if she had a good draw and the girls are playing like they play at the French Open, she has a good chance.
Agree. Look, for all of you out there that play the fantasy team competitions and the finals predictions, I can assure you, you would probably be, and maybe I'm dumb, but your wild card / qualifier selection for the fantasy team cash giveaway is 3 points per win. Serena attained a wild card. Serena Williams has a wild card in this tournament. Right now, she's ranked like 1,200 in the world. Serena, with 23 majors is ranked, or excuse me, is ranked 1,200 in the world. Okay. If you are playing the fantasy team competition, you must remember that the wild card or qualifier pick, which you must have one, is worth 3 points per win. I'm assuming everyone is taking Serena as their 3-point pick. This might be
180 pounds. I guess her Instagram is fake then, Bihara's, because she
has to be bigger than 180. Okay, Serena's how Bob B-Dog, what's up? Serena has to be like close to 6 feet tall, right? She's a 6 footer.
Just one boob
5'11"
is like
5'11".
35 pounds.
Okay. I'm 6'1". I'm 6'1", and I weigh 142. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So understand, Serena definitely isn't lean like I am.
No,
so
one boob
you got to put her closer to 190,
One
200.
boob is like 35 pounds. You got the other boob. You're at 70 pounds at one leg. Another 35 pounds, 40.
You know it's been a good show when Carla starts talking about the weight of an individual boob.
I'm just saying, I'm like,
she got 22
I'm
pound
like
boob?
148, somewhere around there, and there's no way she's 180.
Yeah,
there's no way.
When Carla meets people, she's no longer talking about, what they look like, how they play the game. She's like, that girl's got 22 pound boob.
I'm just saying, an ass cheek alone is.
Now you're an ass cheek.
Well, one person says she's got 181 cheek.
Okay, so
I'm just saying, she's a thick woman. She's a thick woman. If you got a body, you got front and back, just alone that you're carrying about 30-40% of your body weight, just saying. And then add the legs, and she's got some thick legs.
Yeah.
She's like, and then she's got muscular arms.
Yeah.
No way.
Let's go. Okay, so Carla has now changed the paradigm. She is the paradigm changer. So from now on, guys that are bachelors out there, and you don't holler at anyone, when you go out in the mix and you're talking with your buddies, you're like, damn, man, I met this girl last night. She was hot. Your partner's saying, how much did that left boob weigh? How much did that right ass cheek weigh? I'm like, man, she had a 22 pound boob and a 400 pound ass. Let's go. Woo! Getting high fives. Like, what? Buttermilk biscuits. Here we go. All right. Back to Andy Murray, though. Does Andy Murray have a chance to win the tournament? And let me get out B. Does Andy Murray have a chance to win the tournament? Remember, he has home field advantage. He has stuff to fight for. If Andy Murray won Wimbledon, you know what he could do? Walk off.
He won't.
If Andy Murray won Wimbledon, walk off. I'm done. Retire. Yo, on top. Boom. Go. He would have not only Murray Mountain or him and Hill all locked up. He'd have the Himalaya Murray sitting in the back parking lot. If I can promise you, if we can script some type of narrative, whereas Andy Murray will win the Wimbledon championships, he walks off. He's done. He tells the queen, I know you're getting old. I'm glad, but I tell you what, I just won. Oh, I can't believe I just won.
We have a better chance of winning the lottery. We have a better chance of winning the lottery than Andy Murray has a chance of winning Wimbledon.
I tell you
Just saying.
If Andy Murray wins Wimbledon, I will wear a dress. I've worn that one before on the show. I will wear a pink dress, skin tight on this show, and I'll do it the whole time.
So I had a Nike dress, and unfortunately, because of him, I would never wear it again. He destroyed my dress.
Go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Will Andy Murray ever get back inside the top 10?
No, I don't think so. I give him 30-20. 30-20 is good for him.
So no, you say no.
No way. No.
Is Andy Murray better than Sasha Zverev?
No.
What?
No.
Sasha Zverev can't even double.
No way. There's no way that Andy Murray would have played Rafael Nadal at the French Open the way that Sasha did. William Spencer says Serena versus Iga and Novak versus Kyrgios first round. Pretty please. I think Iga would beat Serena and Novak would definitely beat Kyrgios. So.
Okay, has Iga Swiatek and Serena ever played one another?
No.
Can we look that up?
No, you don't even have to look.
Okay.
They haven't had a chance.
There's one thing that we're missing out here. Yes, Iga is a dynamic and a brilliant and an awesome tennis player, but when you meet Serena Williams, there's a psychological aspect of it.
Not anymore.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
Not anymore.
But Serena would have a chance. You'd be foolish to say she doesn't at least have a chance.
Not against that type of player. Not anymore. Unless she's been practicing.
Are you serious? This girl's won 23 majors. Are you serious?
She's 40, baby. I'm almost
matter.
43 years old. Are you telling me that I can go compete against a 20-year-old?
I didn't.
That's hot right now.
You beat 18-year-olds all the time. I watch it.
That's their
Are you
problem.
serious?
That's their problem. But Dream Tennis says if Raducanu wins, will you shave your head?
No.
And she won't win, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to shave my head.
If Serena has not been practicing at least 3-4 hours every day on the court and losing weight and getting in shape and running better than she was in her 20s, no way she's going to beat a player like Iga. I'm sorry. It's just not happening.
Look, shoulda, coulda, woulda, dollar short, day late. Shit happens. I got a bumper sticker that says that on my car. Shit happens. Look, I'm not saying she would, but you'd be foolish. You would be absolutely stupid to not think that Serena has a chance, especially being a wild card. However, she'll probably draw a really tough match within the first 3 rounds. I'm sure the All England Club will give Serena a breeze wild card lucky. She might need a qualifier in the first round just to sell tickets. Okay? Remember, advertising is a freaking money churning thing.
B. Harris says Serena will huff and puff and blow herself down.
Oh, the 3 little pigs. Let's go, bro.
Serena will huff and puff.
Yeah. That's the comment of the day so far. Let's go, B-Dog.
She said last time we saw Serena on HC.
And so
on hardcore, she almost passed out.
Yeah, and B-Dog, let's do like a hat change thing. So you get me a hat, I'll get you a hat. You pick it, just tell me your hat size, whatever, in case it's not a snapback. Let me get you a hat, you get me a hat. Just say what's in, and I'll find a hat and I'll send it to you. Anyway, okay. Andy Murray, does he make the top 5 or 10 again?
No, I just told you that.
I think he might slide in there and then succumb to injury eventually.
No.
Okay, you mentioned Iga Swiatek. Does Iga Swiatek make the second week of Wimbledon? Think about it.
I think she can, yes.
I think she can, or does she not?
I think she can. She can. I mean, grass is not grass anymore. It's not like what it used to be. You know what I mean? I think if players like Serena can win on it, players like Halep, who is a defense player, can win it. She can too. Bartoli can win. Anybody can.
Good point. Now, Bartoli had a double grip racket. So Bartoli was a Prince racket swinger at that point in time. And Bartoli played with 2 hands on both sides of the ball. So she had 2-handed forehand, she had 2-handed backhand.
He said, what's the bet? There is no bet. You just want to buy him a
No,
hat?
I just want to buy you a hat.
Yeah, you guys swap hats.
Yeah, there is no bet. I just want to swap hats with you. So if it's fitted, just give me your hat size. And then I'm either a 7 1/8, I think, or a 7 1/4, whatever. What I'm saying is I'll just buy you a hat of any type, and then well, let's just swap hats. That's all
I got to look at our Google thing because I know people send us money. Thank you, Eleanor. Thank you very much. And I have to send why, I got to check why I haven't received anything.
Yeah.
I'll check it. Thank you so much for the
and also Eleanor has been very instrumental in the past couple of years. She's been there. She's always had something nice to say, and maybe sometimes disagrees, but nonetheless is always very professional.
I'll look at it later. Kensu says Serena Patrick will their way to their victory. Ryan, you and I were talking about that thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I got to go back to this thing.
What Patrick Moravcik?
Like, some of you students out there, if any of you are watching, doubtful, you get suckered by this accent that some of these coaches have, and yet you go lose. You go lose. Yeah. Your parents pay so much money for you to go to the academy, and you lose badly.
Yeah. No. So
I'm sorry.
For a couple of years, we've always talked about why is the U.S. tennis dying? Why is U.S. tennis not at a recreational or a club level, but USTA tennis at a pro level, right? We've always talked about the reason. One of the reasons, not just the only one, but one of the reasons is because so many parents these days want their kids to follow some coach and they have no idea what they do, have no idea of how they coach. They just follow them because they're international and they have a foreign accent. She's alluding to, after all these years, multiple players and one recently. The one player I think you're alluding to, won't mention names.
It's not just one player.
That player has told us personally to our face she does not use us for
it's not just
lessons.
her.
She just uses
it's not just her.
And that same person loses all the time.
These kids from Alabama are suckers. Their parents are idiots for paying that amount of
crazy,
price
man.
For an academy, and they go play these UTR tournaments, and they got their ass whooped. It's if you're not winning I'm going to be realistic for any student out there.
Thank you.
If you are a senior or a junior and you're not winning a big tournament, your chances of Division I is almost zero.
And we're not talking about big tournament. We're talking about girls 16 and under.
I'm talking about to the boys and the girls. Division II, for your chances is zero. Concentrate on your studies. If you are not winning the big tournaments. At that age, you are not a D1 player. Stop dreaming. My son is an 8 UTR.
Yep.
Could kick a lot of those kids' butts.
And he's not even utilizing
He's not even trying.
Yeah.
He would not even be a D2 player at this point.
Put it this way. In this area, there's only been one person. I think just one. I think it's only one person has beat our second oldest son in like 4 years. Am I right? Is it one or is it more than one? I don't want to mention names, but I think.
No, we watched it at the States too. We watched it at the States, and he was a solid 10 UTR. Yeah. And therefore, a 10 UTR would play a D1.
Yeah. So our second oldest son, Christopher, had a record of something like 58-2 over the past X amount of years, like a lot, not like 4 and 5 years, and lost 2 matches, right?
Yeah.
But yet we have certain.
But these parents with so much money, and
here's the other. They just send them to.
Here's number 2.
And they come back and they get their ass whipped and they just lap it up.
43. I'm not in tip-top shape like I was in my 20s, and you can't beat me.
Yeah, that's funny.
Stop dreaming.
Yeah.
Just saying. We have to be realistic as parents. And my daughter at that age was losing that easily. I would have to say let's study hard.
Yeah, if I have a child, I don't care what excuse you can come up with. If I have a child that is say 16 years old, 17 years old, in great shape, blah 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 blah, and Carla or myself with 1.5 legs and 44, I'll be 45 soon. Carla 43 soon. If we're still beating you, I'm sorry. You gotta look at yourself in the mirror and say, what am I doing? Am I doing?
Oh, and congratulations to Ella Bentley if you're watching. She won her 16th tournament. Congratulations, girl.
Let's go.
Very happy for her. Very happy for her.
Let's go, Ella. She beat me at the mini tennis game.
Very happy for her.
And for the first couple of points, I felt like, maybe, okay, I'll just start thinking and I'll just run away with it. But it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. She's smart. Ella Bentley, smart player. Let's go.
So for her, I really see in her future she could be a D2 player. She can be, and if she works harder, she can get there.
Yeah, she's a baller.
Yeah,
she's a baller. Mm-hmm. Okay, finish this topic. Does Iga Swiatek make the second week of Wimbledon? Does Iga Swiatek make the second week?
Depending on the draw, I think she can.
Will Serena Williams or Venus Williams make the second week?
Venus is supposedly not playing. Serena, again, it's all depending how she comes out. Will she again, like last year, oh, my knee, and then boom. I think it was I'm too fat, and then boom.
My neck, my back.
And I'm being realistic. If you carry too much weight on the thighs and it's not muscle and it's fat, well, eventually the knee kind of buckles.
Let's go.
Being factual here at pro tennis, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a big person. We should enjoy life. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying if you're a professional athlete, you should be in tip-top shape. 2, you're playing on a surface that is non-forgiving if you're a big person.
Yeah,
it's definitely not in shape.
If you're a professional athlete, your nickname should not be Teletubby.
No.
Okay. Carla, I'm asking this question to Carla and to all of you as well. But Carla, because she is the consummate, she is the apex, she is the hugest Nadal fan that's ever set foot on this planet. I have seen her cry when she has won majors. Okay, my shot off, because usually he beat Federer when that happened, or Djokovic. Okay, can Rafa Nadal not will he, but can Rafael Nadal win the calendar slam? He won the Australian, he won the French. Does he have a chance in hell?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
I'm being realistic here. I think Wimbledon is like one of the toughest slams for him. The top spin that he has is not really that good on grass. So I don't think that he can do the calendar slam.
Okay.
I think he's almost better off losing Wimbledon and winning the U.S. Open.
Okay.
Saving the energy for that one.
That's a great point.
Jose P says, look at Ryan, not Ryan Michelin, man.
Look, this guy 1000 makes a good comment. This guy 1000 says, Rafa needs to take it match by match. Look, on my back, I'm not going to take my shirt off, but if I took off my shirt and turned my back around, I have a big tattoo right across the back of my back. And it's 3 words, day by day. Am I right or wrong? Mm-hmm. So, again, I won't bore you with that. But this guy 1000 is 1,000,000% correct. Nadal just needs to take it match by match.
Match by match. Yeah, I'm not saying.
Great comment,
I'm not going to be like you Novak fans. Oh, 23, 24, then 25. Here I am in 2022. Yeah. June 20th, 2022, he has yet to win that.
Yes.
I'm not going to be like you guys because I think that life is funny. Things happen. You never know. Let me go back to Gene's comment. I did not know that players were not
And
allowed
no,
to.
but,
Hold
okay,
on.
but
This
check.
is
I know, but
more
check out
important
Drip
than that.
Tennis's comment. He makes a good one. Drip Tennis says, "Is his chance for winning basically assuming upon that Djokovic loses? In other words, if Nadal and Djokovic are in the tournament and they're still in it, if neither one of them, you know what I'm saying? If Nadal loses, then Djokovic is going to win, and then if Djokovic loses, then Nadal is going to win.
I don't think nobody needs Nadal to lose to win. Just saying. No, I don't.
You don't. So you don't think Djokovic
No,
and vice
not
versa?
at Wimbledon. Not at Wimbledon. And why is it so hot in here?
Because you're hot.
No, I think the AC is like
Okay.
really. But Gene said something that I didn't even know. Let me go back to his comment. I'm looking for something about players are not allowed to practice on court. Let's see if I can find it. Going down. Players complain about the courts being slippery last year. Did you guys discuss? Okay, this is his question. Did you guys discuss that Wimbledon is now allowing the players to practice on center court and court 1? I thought that they were always allowed to practice. I didn't even know that because they were slipping last year. I mean, so they think by letting them practice that they won't slip? They're always going to slip.
There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. So what happens with grass as the tournament progresses? So if you look historically at Wimbledon the first week and then look at the court, namely around the places that most people are, baseline, neutral aspects of the net, there's usually some worn spots in these different areas. The players, when they fall at Wimbledon, are generally in the first week, right? And they're in spots with not a lot of foot traffic. So,
are they allowing them then? That's, I guess.
But it should be a good thing. So Carla, let me ask you a question. So we take care of 8 clay courts every single day, right? Mm-hmm. What happens if we don't have foot traffic on them? Weeds grow, the clay gets hard, we have to make it breathe, we can't let it die, we have to always keep aeration, we always have to keep holes and so that the surface can breathe. Mm-hmm. Okay, same thing for grass. If though the grass is fresh and new, what happens if you go out on your lawn after you cut the grass? The grass sticks to you, it's wet, it's caked up on your socks, right? You're like, damn, I just washed these socks, now they're all green. Mm-hmm. Okay, with wet green. Mm-hmm. So the same thing happens at Wimbledon. The first week, everybody's slipping and sliding, and then ultimately, finally, when the grass gets worn and beat down enough and turns brown, people are able to get better traction. Mm-hmm. Why has Roger Federer always had the most luck at Wimbledon? Because he moves lightly on his feet. He's flowing. He's like a ballerina. He's happy feet. He's like a gazelle. He dances across the surface. Djokovic too. All I'm getting at is the surface of the grass is much more slippery at its beginning stages because once the blades of grass break, we have moisture that emits from the broken blade. It's kind of like us when we bleed. I cut my arm and I bleed until it scabs over, right? Same thing on the grass. The grass breaks, and don't forget, grass is a biological entity. It just doesn't have a cell wall. It has a cell membrane, but it has no cell wall. But it still is. And that blade of grass is related to the other blade of grass, and that other blade of grass might be that blade of grass son or daughter. So don't hurt that blade of grass. So, what you talking about, Willis?
Okay, Williams said courts are now slower than ever, and yet these current gen players still want them worn in. How about as players they actually adapt to the game, to grass, instead of play court baseline game?
It's a great point.
True. Yes, I saw Bencic did fall. I mean, I never thought she was a dark horse at Wimbledon. So, I mean, I hope she recovers in time so she can play.
You can't even put Belinda Bencic in the dark horse category because she's top 10 in the world, right? Isn't she in the top 10?
Right.
She's not a dark horse. She should be one of the favorites, right?
Let's go, Justin, with the botany. Now let you drop. My head just spin. I said another margarita.
Where do you see that? You want me to make you one real quick?
No.
I'll make you one.
Let's finish the show so we can eat some wings.
Let's go.
That my husband's making.
Yeah, I should write a book that talks about I'm better than you because I have a cell wall and you suck because you only have a cell membrane. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. You remember that song, don't you?
Yes, next thing.
Okay, if you had to choose one of the following players, who would you choose to either win Wimbledon or to make the finals? Here we go. If you had to choose one of these players, Daniil Medvedev, even though he's not playing. I'm throwing him in here because I don't want to ban him from our show because he's from Russia. Okay, let's say Medvedev was actually playing in the tournament. I'm just saying. We're not going to alleviate him on this show. Okay, so yes, I put Medvedev in there and I wrote it, not leaving him out here.
Said, why doesn't grass have a cell wall?
That's a good question. I think it has to do with mitosis or meiosis. So I think cell reproduction has to do with how those mitochondria and such kind of seep out from the cell wall and how they tend to latch and then duplicate. But you'll have to, it's very interesting. So as cells are replicating, so if I was one cell, I would turn into 2, and then 2 into 4, and then the 4 into 16, and then 16 to 32, and then it escalates from there. No, here's a cool thing. If you had 1 penny and you could double that or square it every day for 30 days, you would be a quasi-trillionaire, right? Take 1 penny times 1 penny, or 1 penny times 2, then takes 2 times 2 is 4, then takes 4 times 4 is 16, then takes 16 times 16 is a big number already, then take that big number and multiply it by itself. So if you could square an increment of a penny for 30 days, you could retire for life.
Eleanor said, what's up with Medi and his coach at the finals yesterday?
That's a topic we have too.
How many more topics do we have?
Show the video.
How many topics?
Can you show the video?
How many more topics do we have?
I don't know, but my only topic is she's hot. Let's go, Carla.
Like seriously.
Damn, girl, Miss
like
Parker.
An hour.
Damn, Miss Parker.
Yes.
But Friday in here.
What were you gonna say before I get to the video? You were
okay, yes.
And I'll find it.
If you had to choose one of these players to do very well or to win Wimbledon, who would you choose? One being Medvedev. Again, I know he's not playing, but I felt like I didn't want to leave him out of our show. Rafael Nadal, Hurkacz, Djokovic, Cilic, or Kyrgios. Who would you choose? I'm guessing.
Djokovic.
I think everyone's going to say Djokovic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right, here we go. We're going to show the video.
So I'm going to go back to this because I want to start it from the beginning.
And by the way, I called Medvedev's coach the Hobbit. He's from the Shire.
Here we go.
All right, here comes the Shire. He's going home to Hogwarts.
Here we go. That's the moment. That's enough for Savara. He's out of here. This is really unsavory for one.
Yeah, he dipped out. He was like, man, forget this bozo. I'm out. Do you know, oddly enough, if your dad's watching,
Gilles Savara has seen enough. I'm not sure if there's been something said there or whether it was just the nature of that point, but he is leaving.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Hey, by the way, when Carla was in her early 30s, and I love your dad to death, but Carla was yelling at her during the match, and then she made him leave. She was like, get out of here. I'm not 12 anymore. Get lost. And she was like 30. Right? How does that feel? Does it feel good? I think looking back at it,
Stop making me feel bad. No. The thing is that my dad was a very, very, very tough coach.
Amoeba.
I feel like I don't blame him for not maybe being what I wanted to be. I'm just saying sometimes I think that you need to give kids a break, you know? You need to give them. And in my 30s, I didn't feel like he should be telling me what to do. Heck, I already had 3 children. Like, and you're telling me what to do? Like, come on now, you know? I mean, and I felt bad, but we won the match.
You did. You won it convincingly.
He came back and watched from the side and stayed quiet, and we won the match. And sometimes you don't need to see that person there. But I don't think that a coach deserves to be yelled at. I would never yell at a coach.
I agree with you. Yes.
Just saying.
Okay. Who was that just mentioned the amoeba? It already disappeared. The comments are fast. So look, what is this? Paramecium. See, there's the nucleus and a little flagellum here. Paramecium. Okay, there's one. Okay, now an amoeba, I drew an amoeba too. So here's the amoeba. Okay, so here's the amoeba and the nucleus here. All right, so we're splitting and duplicating. And don't forget, I have a poll question. If someone can answer this question, I'll send them a set of a Y-Tex or D&M strings. Answer this question. What are these little hair-like things on the outside of the cell? What are they called? What are these little hair-like things called? These things. Not the cell, not the nucleus, none of this mitochondria or proteins or DNA. I'm talking about
Isn't it also amoebas a parasite though?
Just these.
Huh?
Just these.
Oh!
Let's go. THK. Boom. THK, you just won. That's the poll question of the day. Let's go.
But isn't amoebas a parasite?
Yeah, but let me tell you how we get paid.
Let
me tell you how you get paid real quick. THK. If you have a PayPal account, if you have Venmo, I'll send you $20 right now. Or if you have a mail address, it doesn't matter where.
Remember, it's very expensive.
But sometimes international shipping is
Way
crazy. It's not even worth it.
Yeah.
But send me some type of message. You can catch up with us on Facebook or Messenger at Justin, Justin space Carla, Carla space Davis, Davis, or 5K Tennis on Facebook or Instagram or and the community section of YouTube. I'll get you $20.
He
Right?
said you can send it to the next fellow, no worries. But the next fellow is Ryan.
Okay, then Ryan, you're in. Ryan was next. Yeah, Ryan, you're in. But then he's gonna say no. So the third person to answer it.
No one did.
Okay, well the third person to say Celia, I'll send it to you. Okay. Anyway, good job.
But isn't amoebas a parasite?
I'm not sure.
The reason I said that is because I had amoebas, so did the kids, and it was a parasite.
Man,
And we got very, very sick.
All right. Next quick nugget. We talked about this forever, and we had like 40 people that unsubscribed from our channel because I went off on Emma Raducanu, and now we know her as Raducanu. Emma Raducanu not only was the youngest British player to have a hope for, but now she's got the 14-year-old Xinye Zhu. Raducanu has only played 33 minutes. How do you say 33 in Spanish? 33. Raducanu has only played 33 minutes on grass so far this year and retired from the last match because of a side strain. Okay, side strain.
Why is it that we always talk about her? I get so tired.
Because we lost so many subscribers and we bitching a rant, and I haven't seen him come back because I was right. Get lost. I'm just kidding. Okay. Your thoughts on Raducanu, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. What type of chance does Raducanu have to do well on home field advantage at this tournament? Be honest. 0? That's what I thought. She might make it past the first set because she might retire earlier. Okay. We talked about Nadal leaving the court, making the Hobbit go walk. That was a really ugly look. Can Nick Kyrgios win Wimbledon?
No.
Can he win it?
No.
Who are his major threats? Djokovic and
anybody that gets to his head, including the ball boy.
Okay.
Or umpire.
Record prize money for this year's Wimbledon. Record prize money. We know that inflation is kicking in. We know that the interest rates are going through. They've doubled recently from like 3% roughly, or 2.95 to somewhere like 5.96 and almost 6. Gas money has gone up. Rents have gone up. Our rent, we rent a house. We don't own a home. We rent one, and it doubled. Well, not doubled. It put it this way. It nearly doubled, and then we had to be responsible for even more. That was not our responsibility prior.
Everything's gone up.
Yeah. So basically, our expenses doubled. Mm-hmm. Fact. But record prize money at Wimbledon. So the richest people in the world have even more money to give away, but the brokest people in the world are just sucking it up. Whatever. Ban the Russians, ban the Belarusians, whatever. Wimbledon tends to make their own show. It's like, anyway. Okay. Serena Williams, we talked about, has a wild card into the U.S. Open. How well does she honestly do, Carla? And you're an apex Serena fan.
I think she can get through the first week. That's about it.
Does she have any chance of winning it?
No. I think once she meets one of the players that are younger, in shape, play on the tour a lot, played a lot of matches, then she will finally lose.
Can you poll question this for me? Okay. This has to
end this one then.
Oh, yeah, you can end it. Okay, so Serena Williams has received a wild card to play this Wimbledon. Okay, she's ranked 1,200 in the world now. We know she has won it 7 times. One more major, she ties Margaret Court.
What's the question?
The question is, does Serena Williams make the second week of Wimbledon? Okay. While she's typing that, let me remind everyone that's playing the $600 in cash giveaway that every year since the beginning of this century, okay, Wimbledon has had a different winner on the women's side from year to year, with the exception of Venus Williams, Serena Williams, and Petra Kvitova. So the only back-to-back Wimbledon winners on the women's side have been those 3 players since the beginning of this century. Now, with that said, why did we make our pot for Wimbledon $600? Because if you guys can guess that, you deserve it. Okay. That's a big time stat. Okay. Matteo Berrettini or Hurkacz. Does either of them?
Berrettini has a better chance.
Does either of them deserve to be in the favorites column?
Berrettini. But I always feel like somebody who's winning a lot of these small tournaments, they fail. They fail when it gets to the Grand Slam. So I won't pick him nor Hurkacz because I feel like that's a big omen to win a tournament before the Grand Slam. Yeah.
Carla has, since I met her, and this has been long ago, Carla would always say when we would watch warm-up tournaments like Eastbourne or Nature Valley Classic prior to Wimbledon, or whether it's Madrid, even though that's not a warm-up, it's a 1,000, but, those smaller tournaments, players that do well in these tournaments, if not win them, generally suck it up at majors. Mm-hmm. Question to you is, do you think Carla's hypothesis is correct or incorrect in that players such as Van der Redhoven, Bach Jr. or Beethoven Jr., do you think players like him that just had the whole crowd bow down to him, whoa, I won a 250, you're all freaking shedding tears and shit, and then do you think he's going to like rock and roll at Wimbledon?
No.
Carla,
it's like my dad said, we were watching the women, and I think someone retired.
Yeah.
He's like, these people, they win these small ones, but they do shitty in the Grand Slams.
Yeah, man.
Next topic.
Okay. This has nothing to do with tennis, but by the way, Golden State Warriors. I'm from San Francisco, but I'm not a Golden State Warriors fan. It was kind of across the bay. Anyway, the Golden State Warriors won the NBA Finals. Steph Curry with the shot, 360 with the drop. Stephen Curry won his 4th NBA championship, and he got his first NBA Finals MVP. Are you excited about that, or do you not care?
Good for them. Good for them, and good for them. Not that I don't care, just good for them.
Let's go. Mm-hmm. Okay, next up, an Englishman, a British young man. Let's go. Matt Fitzpatrick won the U.S. Open this past weekend in Boston.
Good for him.
It was his first ever tournament of any type being won as a pro. So he didn't win a 250 synonymous with tennis or commensurate with tennis, whatever. This was the first tournament he ever won. However, it was a major. Are you impressed with that?
Yes, it's very tough to win a major, right?
Yeah, his first tournament ever won. It just happened to be a major.
It changed his life for sure.
That's like you going to play a tournament at Wimbledon. You get a wild card and you win the damn thing.
Right.
It's kind of like Raducanu. Who?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Raducanu. That's the most joking thing. I still want those 40 subscribers back I lost when I went off on her because you guys are eating.
I'm hungry and yeah.
I'm Justin. Nice to meet you, Hungry.
Let's go.
Nice to meet you.
Come on.
Nice to meet you, Hungry. You make me hungry when I look at you.
Okay, awesome.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I get hungry when I look at you.
Oh, wow.
Let's go. Poetic.
So poetic.
Poetic, baby. Poetic, baby. Okay, last couple things. We're all tennis fans or we wouldn't be here. Okay, we've either been born in the game, we've been fans of the game, or we got lured into the game, and now we're here. Because if you're watching this for this long, you're a fan. Okay, PHAN, fan, like fish, the band, PHISH. Okay. Which sport outside of tennis do you enjoy to A, play the most? If you play at all, it doesn't matter if you don't. Or B, to watch the most. I'll go ahead and tell you mine so you can think for just a moment, pontificate a little bit. Okay, for me, I like to play all of them. Baseball, grew up playing. Football, grew up playing. Shooting, pool, billiards, pop. I tell you what, if there's anyone out there that wants to take me on a game of 8-ball or 9-ball for like $20 a game, show up. Let's go, B. Harris. Come on, let me get some of that. Okay. Frisbee, frisbee golf, ultimate frisbee, surfing, skateboarding, the list goes on. However, there's only very few sports I will watch. Okay. Only very few I will watch and like actually get glued into it. Okay. Besides tennis,
Volleyball.
American football. She says volleyball because the girls wear these little suits.
Yeah, he has an issue with girls showing their bodies in movies, but yet he watches volleyball and the girl's bottom is like being sucked in her ass. But you got no problem with that.
We call it vacuum.
And stuff is jiggling stuff, but you got a problem with it.
It's not jiggling. It's in there pretty tight.
It still jiggles. No matter how muscular your body is, your body still has to jiggle somehow.
It's not jiggling, Carl. It's vibrating.
Okay,
it's a vibrating movie.
Whatever.
It's not a jiggle, lumpy. It's more like.
I have a hard time watching any sport unless I'm a real fan, and I don't really watch many. I'll be honest with you.
Trouble Mind says Arsenal fan, so he's soccer.
Like
women's volleyball from tennis.
Of course.
Disc golf, Matt Bear. What's up?
I can watch track.
Soccer out there. This guy 1000.
I can watch track.
Soccer.
I like watching the people run because I used to run. I actually enjoy that part. So anything in track and field, I enjoy. I used to love watching basketball, like back in the 90s, and football.
Steph Curry with the shot. Yeah. Okay. So
yeah, I like track and field.
To watch, and don't think I'm crazy, but I've been a sports.
SD Tennis is challenging you to basketball?
Me? I'll take that bet. I'll put up $100 to your 10, bro. I grew up playing basketball.
My dad asked
I can
about
play
you,
ball.
SC tennis. He
Yeah.
asked about you.
Yeah.
He's playing the
Yeah.
tournament, by the way.
Yeah, I got you on that one, Robert. I'll put up $100 to your 10, and it should be pretty straightforward. Just saying, I can definitely ball. Except I won't jump as high as I used to. I used to be dunk basketball, but since I blew out my knee, it might not go down that well. But yeah, we can ball for sure. Okay.
Swimming is another one I can watch.
Yes, but watching sports though, I'm gonna admit something here recently, and you're I forget the relation. Our kid's uncle, Glainer, out there. What's up, man? I had a really good time with Glainer and their family this weekend. It was amazing. But his favorite thing to watch and to play was hockey, right? Like National Hockey League. And not only in the past couple of days with the NHL finals, but the past couple of years, I really started to get into watching hockey. And why is that? I live in Dauphin Island, Alabama, in like 100-degree heat. I've begun to realize how hard and fast this game is. It's just so fast and so much energy. And I've started to get into hockey a little bit. Am I an idiot for that, or do you enjoy hockey too?
I don't.
Anyway. Last thing that I have, and then we'll wrap it up. The court streakers, meaning someone that streaks the field. Like if you're watching soccer, someone strips off their clothes, runs out into the field with no clothes on, let their tallywhacker wrap around the wind, and then they have some slogan to stay on their stomach, like free the whatever, or save the whales. We've had two in tennis recently. We've had the one lady that came to the French Open and tied herself to the net, right? Didn't she like super glue herself to the net? And they had to take the person's hand off the net, something like that. And then we had another streaker during her catch and Medvedev match. At least I think he was playing Medvedev. Anyway, does anyone remember Monica Seles and her getting freaking actually stabbed by someone on the sideline? Do you remember the Monica Seles thing? Mm-hmm. Monica Seles was psychologically and physically altered by this event. And this was a long time ago. When did that happen with Seles? Like 94 or 5 or something? Mm-hmm. I don't remember the year, but here we are in 2022 with the most prolific and most up-to-date security personnel and security things that we can have, and we still have two people in the world of global sports running out onto the court with billions of dollars of sponsors and video cameras around, and we still have people tying themselves to the net.
Yeah, how did they make it that far? I don't know.
I'm beginning to think it's a written narrative by the producers.
Hey, okay. Run out there, we need some excitement and stuff and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you run out there. We won't tackle you. Be ready for the tackle. So we're going to hit you from the right side. I'm beginning to think it's narrative scripted. Not Seles, obviously, because she was cut up. But the hands on the net and everything else, it seems like the person that tied her head to the net had some saying on it. Does anybody remember what her saying said? And she had some saying like "save the whales" or whatever it was. And I love to save the whales. I'm just saying.
It had nothing to do with
it. But it seems like it was kind of narrative. Anyway, all right, that's it. Okay, schedule for upcoming. I know she's about to shoot me.
Yes.
When I get done with this, she's gonna tear my ass up. But you know what? I think she looks good when she does.
Okay, great.
Soft girl. You don't get mad? Come on, I love to see that. Come on. Okay, schedule. When Wimbledon starts, the next Monday. The qualies are going on now, but Wimbledon starts Monday. Okay, we live an hour away from here. We were supposed to have internet where we were, and we do. It runs the cameras, but it won't handle that and this. So there's going to be some days that we'll either take off there and do it here or vice versa, but we will not, and I repeat, will not relinquish our commitment to both YTEX and Diadem, ourselves and our sponsors, because we told them that before we even went there. Okay. Cool. So that will not change. We will definitely do everyday shows. Some days they might be shorter than others. And sometimes it might be a round one recap because, round one, when it starts, it's, top half of the draw and bottom half of the draw and so forth, right? So at the beginning, it might be where we do round one recap after round one, not just every day in between, unless there's some good stories and so forth, Anyway, that's it. Hopefully we'll have actually real internet like we were supposed to have. Hopefully we get that. Don't forget, if you want to play fantasy teams with a $600 cash giveaway, to watch the video we released just a little while ago. Okay?
All right.
That's it. Let's go. Vamos.
Adios.